thank you all so much for coming to this. I know it's hot outside and my air conditioner doesn't push as hard as I want it to.
You could have people fanning
I
us.
could have, yeah, I could. I could, but yeah.
More historic that way.
Yeah, it is. Right, we're going for authenticity.
Yeah.
And so that's a good segue to my introduction to Marshall Stair. A lot of you know him. If you haven't had the chance to meet him, this is a great opportunity. And I got interested in Marshall Stair when he ran for city council, and we went down to Chandler's and we talked about East Knoxville, and we talked about Magnolia, and this guy cleaned off a chicken bone. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. There was nothing left, and I was like, you know, that's
Impressive.
that's politician material. So
The closer the bone, the sweeter the meat.
yeah, right, there you go. And so, and I really wanted to do this event to support Marshall because he's continued to be interested in the things that we were talking about at Chandler's that day. And those interests fall in line with my interest. You know, we opened a business down on Magnolia, and it's incredibly important to me that East Knoxville gets some recognition and energy, especially with local and small business. And these historic neighborhoods, they're not replaceable. So that's something that is important to me, and I'm going to let Marshall talk, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here. So.
All right, thank you. And, you know, I want to thank Jennifer and a lot of the people in this room for supporting me, and thank you so much for opening up your house. You know, running for office, one thing that really inspires you when there's people you respect so much, you know, support you. It really does feel good. And I think one of the great things about Knoxville, what's made it successful, is that most of the development and redevelopment has been done by local people. And I think, you know, Jennifer and a lot of the people in this room are great examples of that. They put their own sweat and money and love into it, and I think it's and you see the difference then when someone from out of town comes and does it. So that's I think that's important to me, and I want to continue that type of progress. But a little bit about me, and the last time I gave a stump speech was a week ago, and during the middle of it, I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, and she came right to my feet and then just lost it. So anyway, then I cleaned it up, and strangely enough, then I got a question about homelessness, and just kept going after I wiped it up. But it was pretty wild. So I was asked my wife, I said, "Well, do y'all want to come?" She said, "Well, after last week, you know, maybe we'll take this one off." But a little bit about me: I grew up in Bearden. And went away to college, worked for a nonprofit environmental group, lived in Houston, Austin, and Chicago, lived in Mexico City. And during this time away, Knoxville was always home to me. You know, I always came back for Thanksgiving and different events, Christmas. And, you know, I was really inspired by what was happening to Knoxville as I lived in these different cities. And I knew I wanted this to be my home. So I came back, went to law school, graduated and wanted to get involved, and it was a little bit like it is now. It was 8 years ago, and there was an open council seat, so ran for council. And thanks, you know, to some of the people in this room, to their support, I was successful in that race, and I've really enjoyed it, serving on council. But more importantly, I'm really proud of what we've done and the direction the city's taken. And so, my campaign is about building upon that success. By addressing our challenges, you know, like affordable housing, like homelessness. I feel, you know, some of the things that have gone well. And during that time, I got married. I was single last time, which is a lot different campaigning single than with a family. There's pluses and minuses to both. Much better with the family, I'll say that. But we got married. I was living downtown. I lived downtown from 2009 to 2014. Got married in 15, and we live in Old North Knoxville, so not far from here in the historic, right behind Rose Sanctuary in a 100-year-old house. So, and then we had a baby a 1.5 years ago, so that's it's been exciting. So, but you know, so you know. addressing our challenges like affordable housing and homelessness, and then also making sure we provide quality services. You know, I think from repairing sidewalks, fixing potholes, you know, making sure we have safe neighborhoods. These are some of the things I'm talking about. And then we've also put out a lot of specifics, things I'm confident we can accomplish in the first year, or at least the first 4 years. Creating an Office of Diversity and Inclusion, you know, body cameras for police officers, a master plan for our urban canopy. These are some of the very specific issues that we've rolled out throughout the campaign. So where we are in terms of the campaign, today's July 27th, election is in 1 month. You know, it's hard to believe. My wife and I, we started this 11 months ago. We did it, I told somebody, I did it to be easy to remember. We started August 27th of 18, exactly 1 year before the election. So we feel great about where we are. We're getting really good feedback. There's other candidates, so we know we've got a race on our hands. We're out working hard. I've been in the neighborhood knocking on doors the last few days around here, which has been great. I mean, definitely an interesting community. And some colorful characters. And you know, I did my first day of knocking on the door during the day, which is a little, if you door knocked, it's a little more challenging because there's fewer people home. But I found, though, the people that are home are really willing to talk. Yeah, they are. Today, I was actually out west, and the guy, after he was really upset and complained for about 10 minutes, man. He was really talking. And we talked, and you know, we started to connect a little bit. And then at one point, he said, "You know, people will just complain about anything." But it's been going really well. So what you can do to help mainly is vote. You know, we're expecting a low turnout election. We are scratching and clawing for every vote that we can get. So talk to your friends, talk to your coworkers, talk to your enemies. It's a good time to mend fences. You know, we need every vote that we can. And don't underestimate the power you have and the influence you have on your colleagues and friends. Small statements can be extremely powerful. We're also, you know, raising money. We've got our mail going out. We're going to have TV. We're doing digital, doing everything we can to reach people. We're really running in a media vacuum right now. There's not a lot of press on this race, so we are having to do all the communication. So we've also got T-shirts. I tell people, you know, make sure you wear them out in public. You know, one supporter said told me once, it was like, "I wear your shirt to bed every night." I said, "I hope you're seeing a lot of voters in your dreams." But we've got T-shirts, bumper stickers, all those kind of things certainly help. And most importantly is volunteering. You know, I'm a big believer in door knocking. In this world, that personal connection, human to human, there is nothing stronger. I was out for 4 hours today, just knocking on doors and having a lot of good conversations with people. So we're doing that. We're doing phone banking, those things. We're doing postcard parties. Come on in. What you here lying about? All right. What you here behind? Hey, all right, everybody. As my mom says, pull up a chair and sit on the floor. So those are some of the things we're doing, and I'd like to open it up now to questions. If people have questions, any?
All right.
Yeah, sure.
So I live in South Louisville.
Okay.
And how do you feel about the Hobbit Village?
Ancient lore village.
Oh, yeah. Ancient lore village.
You know, I think there's a lot of questions of it. You know, I think one thing that Knoxville's done good in terms of tourism, and my theory on it, is make Knoxville a great place for the people that live here, and the tourism will take care of itself. Mm-hmm. You know, I think especially look at downtown. I think we've set out to make downtown great for the people that live here and work here, and you know, restaurants, you know, bars and restaurants, entertainment, Bijou in Tennessee, and look what's happened. You know, hotels are being built, tourism, you know, tourism dollars are coming. So that's that's my theory, and I don't think we want to sort of go down sort of branding ourselves as the Pigeon Forge type entertainment. You know, that said, I hadn't looked at it too much. Most of it is outside the city. You know, and I'm still not certain exactly what if it's more of a resort or what exactly it is. But, you know, one of the things I'm most proud of is South Knoxville and the change I've seen there during my 8 years. And I think a big part of that is the urban wilderness and the parks and trails. You know, I talk about these things, they're amenities, arts and culture, that they're good for the citizens, but they're also key to recruiting talent and businesses. And, you know, cities right now, we're in a war for talent. And we've got good, you know, we've got Oak Ridge, we've got Tennessee, we've got pipes of talent coming through here. We need to do what we can to retain those people. And, you know, South Knoxville, I feel like sort of taking advantage of what it has, the natural beauty, the water, the urban forests, the urban wilderness, those type of things, I think is the way to go. So, thank you for the question.
As far as, I like the neighborhood and diversity, because as a photographer, I'm working with a group of photographers and we're going into neighborhoods, and mine's Marble City. And what you just said about knocking on doors, we're photographing, you meet people by reaching out and going up to them and talking to them. You came to my house, no one else did, and knocked on the door and said, Tana, I want your vote. That meant a lot.
It does.
It makes a difference, and nobody else has done that. And I know them all because I photographed them all. And I'm just saying that meant a lot. But as I'm photographing on Sutherland, it's crazy. You're afraid to go up and meet people, but the neighborhoods, it's all some of the best people we have. Even though the neighborhoods are, you may think you're crazy, but down Sutherland is crazy too.
Right.
And to Marble City in there, but that's where my dad worked. It's blue collar.
Right.
That's where JFG was. There's all kinds of things down in there. And we're having a show about all the neighborhoods of Knoxville.
Right.
And I just think, well, the strongest thing we have are our neighborhoods. But in Bearden, there's so much expansion, roads.
Right. Right. You know, and looking at diversity, that's the sort of my thing I say about it. It's not only the morally right thing to do, it's absolutely vital for our success. And, you know, that mix is so important. Mix of incomes, races, national origins. That is what makes cities healthy and dynamic. And, you know, it's crucial that we have that, and we have to be intentional about it. And that's why I want to that's why I plan to create the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And it's about, you know, creating that successful city.
Keep having those open streets. You don't know a neighborhood till you go to one of those open street things and you're walking down the street that closed off and meeting people that live there and work there. That's one of the best ways of doing it.
And it's similar with historic preservation. That's something I'm passionate about. You know, I think it's good, but, you know, the people are looking for that uniqueness. You know, they want something different. And, you know, historic buildings often provide that. And I think Knoxville is a great example of where we've seen successes, where we've taken care and rehabilitated and reoccupied our historic structures. So that's been, and then thanks to a lot of the people in this room that have done it, you know, room by room and wall by wall, that really done the hard work to, you know, to give a house or a building new life. I think that's should never be underappreciated, because that's a way, you know, Knoxville had you know, there was times where people were moving out of the city, and, you know, we need to bring it back, you know, and we had to do it parcel by parcel. So, people have other questions? One more?
The Knoxville Civic Coliseum, it's built in 1963 and it's getting close to its end of its lifespan. The current administration had big plans for the Civic Coliseum, and of course they didn't go through. What's your view on the future of the Coliseum?
Right, well, we did invest, I wanted to say it was about $10 million, so I think we did extend the life.
Well, that was kind of cosmetics. It wasn't a lot of structural.
Right. Well, the challenge with the new facility is that would cost over $200 million. So I think we would want to have a really robust, discussion in the community if that's something that we felt the city should do. And the challenge is with these facilities that they're really regional amenities, and I have a little hesitation putting them on the backs of the city taxpayers, which is one of the things you learn running for city office is the city is a pretty small part of the metropolitan area. Our metropolitan area is like 800,000, the city's 180. And the county, I think it's 450 or 465. So even less than half just Knox County. So I think we have to be curious. But I think, urban renewal was a huge mistake. And part of it was that the way it was built was very sort of, it was very auto-oriented. And so I think we need to look at that area and as downtown grows that way of how to make it work better.
I'm sure it's no secret that since the city cleaned up the area under the bridge for the homeless for camping, which is a health hazard, but what's happened is the homeless people have dispersed and they're camping in and around neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are starting to see more petty thefts, those kinds of things. Do you see any hope or any, would it be reasonable or feasible to look at St. Mary's, the part that's not being used for the police and fire department, as homeless housing?
I mean, I probably, potentially, that's, right now we're sort of focused on the police. But you're absolutely right. I think the homeless problem used to be sort of downtown centric, or I live in Old North, so sort of these neighborhoods. But we are seeing it from South Knoxville to Fountain City. So it really is a citywide problem. I think we've got to do better work to keep people in their homes, and I think we're going to have to be creative about housing now. Whether it's that side or using existing units, because the idea of sort of building new, the resources that would take to do that, along with the support that you need, is difficult for the city. So, and other cities have done it. I think New Orleans has done it, where they just were very creative about finding the housing, because you do need to get someone in housing to address some of their needs, whether it's behavioral issues, mental illness, addiction, those type of things. So, and then also we got to get the state back involved. They used to, have a big part of their, with Lakeshore. I mean, that must have been a significant budget to run that. And they were supposed to stay involved. We haven't seen that to the degree that's certainly needed. And I don't know how far people come in from, but I know they come in from other counties. So we need. City, county, state, and federal
What
government.
happened in Sequoia Hills? The person that got mugged walking, running in Sequoia Hills.
So, so anyway, I'll just close it up here. People often ask, what's it like running for office? And I tell them it's like waking up for a job interview every day. When you got that kind of pit in your stomach and you're excited. And that's exactly what it's like. And then you go out and you talk to people, it's like more like a group interview where you go and you meet with different people, but conversation after conversation, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What can we improve? We've got challenges, but I feel really good about where we are as a city. To me, it's better now than I've ever known it. And I tell people I'm proud of the success, and I want to make sure that success is felt by every Knoxvillian, no matter what zip code they live in. And I know that I've got the experience, the vision, and the ideas to make that happen. So thank you all for coming. I'm open. I'll be here till 8 and enjoy. I had picked the wrong day to wear the blue shirt, but it can happen. I know she'll Photoshop it out. So anyway, thank you all, and thank you so much, Jennifer, for hosting.
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad everybody came.
All right. All right.